Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again with another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. I wanted to make more of a themed video for you guys, so I thought why not draw power. Getting things kickstarted with Shared Ride. I know there's a lot of awesome quick play magic cards out there that put in work, do some pretty heavy business in the game. A lot of players are talking of late about, I believe it's Mistaken Arrest, but my personal choice would be Shared Ride. I really like this card a lot. Comes in two awesome prints here, Secret Rare, the OG print, Secret Rare from Legacy of the Valiant, and of course the 2014 Megaton reprints. There's a gold, and then there's a gold lettering gold, and there's a common. So let's go ahead and take a look at the OG print from Legacy of the Valiant. Really amazing artwork behind this. You know, we have the Delinquent Duo, at least one of them. We have Graceful Charity, of course, right here in Sangan, and I forget what these like alligator-looking demon things are. I believe this is like the tour guide bus thing over here. But anyway, really great stuff. So with this card, of course, it's basically it turns into a pseudo maxi every time your opponent adds a card from their deck or their graveyard to their hand. You get to draw one card. So really great stuff on that. And of course, it is quick play, so you can set it and play on your opponent's turn and vice versa. Anyway, really great stuff. So Unlimited is roughly around 3 bones starting market price here. 4 pages on the market here for TCGP. And the first editions are actually getting quite up there. About 8 bones if you factor in shipping. And they kind of just trickle up a little bit to about 9 after that. And only, again, 4 pages on the market. So interesting price increase in that, but rightfully so. This card is really, really good. I'm really surprised. I played one of these in my zombie build personally. I liked it a lot. I like it a lot at 1. It's pretty good so far. So Inzektor is going to be next. So the structure deck's coming out, and this I love Inzektor a lot. I love the artwork. There's some pretty cool ultimate rares here. I just wanted to quickly do some flash price reviews on this and just kind of get your guys' mind in gear for this. I'm personally really excited about the structure deck. I hope it's good. And Hornet, again, I'm really surprised about Hornet. This is still, to the day, a solo print super rare. Obviously, it's going to get reprinted. We don't know what, maybe, probably common, honestly. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'd be really lame if they made it an ultra rare. Hopefully, it's just a common, because I invested very heavily in these super rares. Being that this set's extremely old. Aura Chaos was, I think, 2012, 2011 era. Really old. And the artwork is just phenomenal. More specifically for Hornet, and of course Hornet being, you know, the destruction card. Really great stuff. So still not really impressed with these prices. Pretty much around 5-ish plus before you factor in shipping across the board for Unlimiteds. First editions are about 6. And there's about 5+ pages on the market. So maybe just because there's an abundance on the market, which is really surprising because it is an old school solo print, super rare. But I've always really liked this decor a lot, and I'm personally really excited about the structure deck. It's going to be really interesting when it comes out. I'm really happy that they won the contest. One thing of keynote, so these ultimate rares, you know, they've been going up a little bit with a little bit of hype and speculation for the structure deck. Potentially, you got Giga Mantis over here between 10, 14, and the Sword Excalibur between 11 and 15. Of course, you got the OG print of X Beetle. I don't really know who runs this, but this is worth money too. It's like 10, 13 bones. Besides Hornet, I think that Centipede is really well needed card, and this card is insanely cheap. It's like $1, 2 bones. And of course, it's the highest rarity as a super rare from Astral Pack, which is really cool because Astral Pack's really old. So that is kind of another hidden gem. This and this, I've invested very heavily in both of these first editions for the Hornets, of course. And another thing that's still a solo print that you need, which is pretty much a must-have at 3, is Dragonfly. And this, just like Hornet, is a single solo print as a rare dawning out of the originating set, Order of Chaos, which is still really insanely cheap. I know it's just a rare, and you know it's roughly around a bone. Plenty on the market here. But if this, I'm sure, again, it probably will get reprinted, but it's probably going to be reprinted as a common. I don't see them reprinting a rare as a higher rarity, personally. But who knows? Maybe they will. But, I mean, then again, with this being such an old set, I would think it would be really... I personally invested in probably like 100, if not probably 200 of these first edition, just because these have just been insanely cheap for the longest time. And if the deck, even if it's good or not, it's just in in general, it coming out, there's gonna be hype behind it, and Insectors have a pretty special place in the meta, and they got a really great history. So I think there's a lot of excitement behind the structure deck. So that alone is definitely gonna increase some value. So getting back on track with the drawing stuff, the theme kind of is gonna be revolved around level 1s. I decided to just do level 1s. And this is kind of just what I stumbled upon. I found some pretty cool randomness. So B-List Soldier is going to be next. Simple attribute this, another Insector monster, draw 2. Not super good, but I mean, it's pretty cool artwork, and who knows, maybe with Insectors, maybe the structure deck comes up, maybe they'll use it, maybe they won't. And there's 2 prints of this. This is the original OG print, common as a Crimson Crisis, and then it also came, I believe, common in one of the Speed Duel sets. First editions are like 10 cents, and then you factor in shipping. Plenty across the board, not really a big deal. Next is going to be Caravan of the Ice Barrier. Again, my last video, another structure deck that's coming out is the Ice Barrier stuff. I don't know if people are going to play this or not. Of course, this is the higher rarity. This is the dual terminal common. There is the Hidden Arsenal super rares, which technically are super rares, so they're like higher in hierarchy rarity. But these, being DT, a lot more difficult to find. And who knows? The only thing I'm kind of iffy about this is both players draw, of course. That's the only kind of the down draw from this. But really cool how it recycles. I love cards that recycle, and not only do you recycle, you get to draw. Like Pot of Avarice was pretty much just anything that reminds me of Pot of Avarice is really cool. And of course, it's a DT, and there's the hype behind the potential popularity of the new structure deck. So who knows? And this card is really cheap. It's like pretty much $1 all across the board. And here's a 50 stack, and only 2 pages, but a lot of, pretty good fit. There's a 50 stack here, so I mean, people have to get through that. But who knows, people are users or not. I just thought that was a pretty cool level 1 draw card. Next is going to be Destiny Hero Disc Commander. So for the longest time, this was forbidden. This was banned. It was on the list. Hit to Zolch 0. It got errated, came off the list. I believe the errata reads now that you can only use it once per duel, the effect to draw 2, and it can't be special summoned from the graveyard the turn that it's sent to the graveyard. So watered down pretty heavily, but still it's an instant. I won't say instant, but essentially it is a Pot of Greed, which is really cool. Several different rarities. There's a ultra rare, I believe, from one of the Legendary Collection sets. I'm not really sure, but I think this is the best rarity as the secret rare print dawning out of Legendary Collection 2. So really great stuff in this, and this is really cheap too. It's pretty much a bone across the board, even for the first edition. You see here, it's like almost around just hovering under 2 bones for the first edition lightly played, and there's 5+ pages on the market. So really cool stuff there. Next is going to be Clear Curibo. This came from the Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack. This was like that ridiculous set that was reprinted like 4 times. They had a gold, they had a secret gold, they had a platinum gold, and they had an ultra rare. It was insane. There's a lot of different. Konami really tried to milk the system for. They just reprinted this so many different times. It was pretty insane. My personal favorites were the secret gold. I think the secret golds look really, really nice. I even prefer them over the just the normal ultra rares. Even more specifically for the Blue Eyes one. The Blue Eyes artwork in this looks really great in the clouds and looking all awesome. Anyway, I think this card's pretty cool. This is, of course, the secret rare version, so I think it's the best version. There was secret and then secret gold. It was insane. So I don't remember. Really quick, I'm trying to. Let me check here. Anyway, this is insanely cheap. It's like a quarter bone all across the board. First edition near mint. It's not really a big deal. But this set was like so insane because there was a secret, there was a gold secret, there was a gold, and there was an ultra, I believe. Right. So here was just the pure gold, pure secret, and then there was ultra, secret, and then there was okay. So there was, I guess, was 3 because there was secret gold. So I guess they had normal gold and then secret gold from the same set. But anyway, really crazy stuff. I think it's a pretty cool card. 2 different effects that are pretty diverse, and Curibo is pretty badass. Link Curibo is going to be next. So interesting enough, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the original print of this was Invasion of Chaos, which was around Pendulum era. That was well before Code of Duelist when we got Links. Obviously, this card is perfect for Link, hence maybe it was kind of foreshadowing when it has like the Link in its name. But it came out way before Links, which I thought was really interesting time frame for this. But really cool card, simple tribute, draw, fun stuff with that. And of course, it's got a secondary effect from the graveyard. Pretty cool artwork. This is the Shonen Jump Ultra Rare, so personally I believe this would be the most desirable print. And it's really cheap. It's like pretty much 2+ bones after you factor in shipping. Here's your 31 stack right here. And there's 3 pages available. Really quick, I want to verify. I'm pretty sure that it was Invasion of Chaos. That was the OG print of this. So Advent Calendar Ultra Rare from Shonen Jump. Special Edition was from Invasion Vengeance. So maybe these are, maybe it was, it's either the Shonen Jump or I guess the Layer of Darkness common. I'm not really sure. By the way, this was a really great structure deck, just like Zombie Horde. I collect structure decks, first edition sealed, like the actual 8 deck cases. And Soulburner is pretty good too. For a while, common Ash Blossom was like 10 bones. I think it's a little less now, but that card's, Ash Blossom is Ash Blossom. It's always pretty good money. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about Link Curibo. Tuning Wire is going to be next. This is the Secret Rare from Legendary Collections 5Ds. Again, player preference. I believe that this is the best version. There's also a Ultra Rare. An Ultra Rare. I don't remember which set, but there's an Ultra Rare first edition, but this is Secret Rare, so I think this is better. And this is extremely cheap. It's got kind of a diverse effect. It can be level 1, level 2, and then, of course, it's kind of like, what's that card called? When you Formula Synchron, I think it is, where you draw one. Anyway, really cool stuff. Pretty cool artwork. I like its pan helmet. And this card's roughly around 2-ish bones when you factor in shipping all across the board. Lightly played near mints like Secret Rare. Only 2 pages on the market, so kind of interesting numbers on that. Next is going to be Magician's Soul. Still to the day, this hasn't had a reprint. Why has this not had a reprint? This is literally an 80+ bone solo print ultra rare from Legendary Duelist. I know Legendary Duelist, there's not really a lot of print because a lot of people don't like them. A lot of people don't invest in these sets. They say these are just collector sets, but that's just because the cards are so hard to get because no one wants to buy the product. Like, there's like a few good cards, and then, I don't know, I just think in general, the collectors, the Legendary Duelist sets are not very... There's just something about them. I don't know. I think the majority of the players, myself included, I just am really not that invested in them. And the numbers just dwindle, and they just become like stuff like this. Ultra Rares become 80 bone plus cards, which is insane. Really cool card. Obviously, awesome play with Dark Magician decks, and really great artwork. But why hasn't this been reprinted? Pretty insane. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Next is going to be Cyber Valley. So this is the original super rare OG prints dawning out of Phantom Darkness. Really amazing set. This is the set that we got. Dark Arm Dragon, which I really love a lot. Dark Arm Dragon's a really cool card. And every time I think about this set, I really think of course, about a plethora of really amazing dark monsters and supporting cards, but more specifically Dark Arm Dragon. Some people think of Teledad, all that crazy stuff. But there is also an ultra rare version. I think it's from one of the Legendary collections, I'm not sure. But I would personally prefer this super rare first edition original prints from Phantom Darkness. And these are around 2 bones if you factor in shipping, again, for the first editions. And 5+ pages on the market, so pretty cool stuff. 3 different effects. Part of the Cyber Dragon lineup there. Lantid Sea is going to be next. This is a solo print super rare, which is actually relatively new. Fist of the Gadgets, not that old. Pretty good ignition effect. Some pretty cool stuff you can do with that. Artwork's kind of silly, but I mean, I think there's definitely some plays that some players can... You guys are all creative. You guys have some unique mindsets. You can think of something pretty cool to put this card in. And it's really insane. It's like a nickel to a dime. A lot of fat stacks all across the board. So plenty of availability on that. But pretty cool utility on that. Next is going to be Nightmare Mermaid. So I know this is banned. It's been banned forever. This is the updated version, the 2019 Gold Sarco Prismatic Secret Rares, which just look gorgeous. And the reason why I want to review this specifically is it's insanely cheap. Now, who knows how long it's going to take for this to come off the list. White Mexican theory is I believe that everything comes off the list eventually. It's just a matter of if it gets errated or not. And this just looks gorgeous, and it's like insanely cheap. It's literally like barely $1 if you factor in shipping. And again, these are high rarity prismatic secret rares. They look really nice, and there's plenty of availability on the market. So really just wanted to showcase this, just mostly for how insanely cheap it is. All right, so Labyrinth of Nightmare is going to be the Gen 1 gem that I'm going to review today. You guys know I'm a huge collector of first 13 core sets, LB through RDS. Labyrinth of Nightmare was a really cool set. I used to call this the purple set because of the packaging back in the day. And there's some really great stuff in here. Really quick, I'm just going to do some flash price reviews. I'm not going to review Gemini Elf. I know a lot of people like this, and it is a really cool looking secret rare, but there is a couple OCG cards that I'm going to review. One of them is going to be the OCG Ultimate Rare version, which looks really amazing, especially in the uncensored original artwork. But some of the best cards in here, I think, for collectability, you know, Magic Cylinder, United We Stand, amazing, just blow out old school cards. There's a Searcher card, I believe, out for Torrential Tribute now, and this being the OG print. First editions are pretty good money. Jar Greed, I reviewed this in my last video, I believe. This is a couple bones too for the first one, pretty good money. Last Warrior from Another Planet. I believe this was used with a Dragon Jar or something, or whatever, the dragon in the grass card. I forget what the card is, but they used to use a kind of a play on flipped to pull this out. Mage Power, really great stuff. Of course, we got OG Dark Necrofear, really great stuff. Kaiku has two pretty cool effects, Royal Command and Old School Floodgate. Bazoo, this card always kind of freaked me out. Something about monkeys, like monkeys just really freak me out, like the teeth, and I always thought these were like bones coming out of his back. It just, this card really kind of freaks me out. Some really interesting artwork, and of course, Jaugen, you know, just really awesome stuff. So more into the specifics, I'm going to go into the ones that I want to talk about. Kaiku, always one of my fan favorites. So, of course, OG super rare print, really great stuff. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I could have swore this used to be you could remove any cards. It didn't have to be monsters. I don't know if it got errated or reprinted or changed. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just super old and senile and I just can't remember now. But anyway, it's 2 monsters, which is pretty good in its own merit alone. Removing 2 is always pretty great with all the crazy shenanigans going on with the graveyard engines these days in the game. Also, the sheer fact that your opponent can't remove any card from play is just insane, and that's a continuous effect that I think a lot of players forget about. There is, of course, a secret rare version. Well, let me go ahead and review the prices here for this really quick. Oh, it's gonna go ahead and take me back. So there is a secret rare version of this, which looks really nice, from Legendary Collections 3, Yugi's World. My all-time favorite, this and Joey's World were my all-time favorite reprint sets, also up there with Legendary Collection Kaiba. Definitely check those sets out. Nothing but praise for those. It looks like it's between, you know, roughly 3-4 bones. And of course there's a Hobby League. You know, the Hobby League is going up too. It's about roughly around 11 bones depending on the price differential. Hobby Leagues in general look really great. Again, different card stock made by Upper Deck, if I'm not mistaken, and they're kind of hard to get away with in higher tournament echelons besides locals. I think you should be pretty good. Really bad bowing on those too. Naturally, they just have some pretty nasty bowing to the cards, but honestly, my favorite version is going to be the OG print original super rares. Again, you guys know I'm a really big fan of super rares. And unlimiteds are going to be roughly around 4-ish bones. I'll get a first edition here for a whopping around 14 bones. And then it quickly jumps up to 20, and then 28. And then there's only 2 pages. So this is just being wiped clear off the market. Obviously, there's some kind of, I don't necessarily mean buyout, but it's definitely dwindling in numbers. And I've been talking about this card for a while. I've always really liked this card a lot. It's old. It's got 2 really killer effects. It's a level 4 spellcaster, dark, level 4, and it's got 1800, which is, you know, relatively good for, especially back in the day. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Last Warrior from Another Planet. This got an ultra reprint, I believe, but this is the OG print. This is always, just on a sheer history and age alone, has always been a relatively good target for collector's market. Really badass artwork. For some reason, this artwork reminds me of something from DBZ. I don't really know why. I'm getting like a Frieza vibe. Doesn't really look like Frieza, but it's, I don't know, or like maybe like the cyborg from like Teen Titans, like tripping on acid. I don't know. There's just something about this. It's really badass artwork. I really like it a lot. It looks really cool. And this is obviously the OG print, and it's insanely old, part of the Gen 1 collections. Unlimiteds are roughly around 4-ish bones. There's 5+ pages on the market here, and the first editions are going to be Not towards the end. Clearly, there's a lot to get through here. A lot of cardboard to get through. The first editions, lightly played, start at 37 plus bones. So that's pretty incredible. On the second to last page here, we get a couple more, and it goes all the way up to about 48 and just kind of trickles up after that. So pretty great price points. And again, this card's just old. That looks really cool. So in the back of the day, again, Secret was the ceiling. So ultra pulling an ultra back then was a really big deal. Magic cylinders can be left next. I really love burn decks, honestly. I've always kind of been fascinated with burn decks, and every once in a while I like to whip out I like to consider it creative burn decks. And there's a lot of different utility cards and things you can, and I'm not just talking about chain burn. I hate chain burn. I think chain burn it's like Mystic Mine. It's just a retarded deck. Like you don't want to touch it with a 6-foot pole, but sometimes you run into it and you just, you rage quit and you move on. It's not really a big deal. But this is the original print of this card. This card has had several prints, and this is the OG print as a secret rare, so really great stuff. And let's go ahead and get into this. So it's about 4-ish bones for the unlimited for the first one here. And let's see, there's 4 pages on the market. Starts to slowly trickle up as we move on here. The first editions are a whopping 30 bones, so this has hit a new high. I want to say for the longest time, this card was roughly around like 10, 14. I think the highest I've ever seen it was like around 20 or 18, and now for first edition specifically, at least lightly played, and we're seeing our lightly played first editions dawning at a fat price point of 30, and continues to trickle up after that. So pretty great stuff. Good on Magic Cylinder. Really cool, old school. Secret rare. Next is going to be Jowgen the Spiritualist. So this card is insanely good, and I don't remember if this card has ever been hit. It's got 2 effects. It's basically a Fossil Dyna down here. Its second continuous effect is a Fossil Dyna. And then you can pitch one. Has to be specifically to the graveyard, so hope there's no removal in play. And then you can destroy all special spells. So yeah, really, it's like Fossil Dyna without the flip effect. I think Fossil Dyna. I don't remember if Fossil Dyna destroys all monsters or just special summon monsters. I think it's just special summon monsters. So it's like they kind of, obviously Fossil Dyna came way after. Fossil Dyna was what? Light of Destruction, I believe, and Labyrinth of Nightmare was well before that. Anyway, really good stuff. This is, I don't think there's a hollow foil. This is the rare original print. I know there's a couple different common prints. I don't think there's a hollow version of this yet. Unlimited is roughly around 2 bones if you factor in shipping, and there's 5+ pages on the market here. Let's see if we can find some first editions. First editions are going to be roughly around 5 bones. Here's a 2 stack here for lightly played, and then it's roughly around 6-ish, 5, 6, pretty much across the board. Really quick, just out of curiosity, I'm pretty sure that the OG print as a rare is the highest rarity that we have currently in the TCG. So common, rare, it got reprinted again as a rare in Dark Beginnings, but those don't have first edition packs, so forget that. First edition prints, I mean, and then of course common. So yeah, definitely go for the OG print, first edition. Next is going to be Fire Princess. So this card is more specifically for artwork. I think the artwork is amazing on this. She has like a clobbering meat stick beater bat over here. Really cool. This is a really crappy picture. The pixels are just really blurry. You can't really see anything. But this card's artwork looks amazing. The super hollow foil looks great. It's a level 4. 1300 attack, which is really awesome. 13 is my favorite number, so that's pretty cool. But again, this is just one of those old school Gen hollow foils, Gen 1s, that is just really great. And who knows? This a long time ago, this used to be ran in a plethora of chains of burn decks. And it's just one of those like old school kind of classy burn cards. She's a classy burn card. And unlimiteds are really nothing. They're like about $1. Of course, I'm talking more specifically for collector's market, so we're going to dip into the first editions here. And these are still really cheap. We see a lightly played here for around 2 bones if you factor in shipping. Here's another one here. And only 5 pages on the market. And the first editions are definitely starting to dwindle. I mean, this used to be pages and pages of first editions. Now I only see 2. Here's another one. It jumps all the way up to almost 5 bones, about 4+. And on the last page, we see several more, but again, gets into about the $5 range and trickles up and bottoms out at 20 for the near mint first edition. So Numbers are dwindling quickly on the first editions of this. I would not be surprised. This is another one of the classic kind of old school collector cards that I've been talking about from Gen 1 sets, and it's just a great collector's target. So next is going to be some OCG stuff. I'm going to switch over to the eBay platform from this. I haven't really figured out a better platform for this yet. First is going to be Dark Witch. So interesting enough, this is a solo print in Japan. They only had one print. I don't know if it's a solo print in the TCG for us, but in Japan, only one print as a common, old school text box coming out of Mr. 19 is the set. And I love the artwork in this. The uncensored artwork is great. You got the bust, you got the short skirt, you got the angel wings and the devil demon horns. Really great stuff. I'm looking at lowest prices first, and of course 13 lists here, so you guys can kind of take your pick. You know, do whatever you want to do with this, but you know, this is roughly around 5, and you got to really read these because the majorities are coming from overseas, from Japan, and you have to be really speculative with the condition because sometimes in lost in translation, you really have to pretty much use pictures. But you know, it's roughly around 5 bones here, and then it jumps to about 6 for the best offer. These look pretty good. These look almost near mint actually. So really great stuff. I just want to click on one really quick because I want to get a close-up of the artwork. The artwork is just phenomenal. Will Konami ever have the balls to actually do a lost art promotion of this? I highly doubt it. The majority, I think the ballsiest things that they've released have been Foolish Burial and Dark Magician Girl and the Harpy stuff. I really didn't think, I was really surprised that they released the Harpy stuff so soon. I really thought that they were going to kind of keep that ace in the pocket for later on. But they definitely busted out. They busted out hard, and it worked really well for the Harpy stuff, more specifically for Dark Magician Girl. But just fantastic, raw, uncensored, amazing artwork in all its natural beauty. Next is going to be Dark Magician Girl, more specifically Dual Terminal 12. It slips past me. I don't remember if they have 2 different versions of DMG in the OCG. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm pretty sure there's just this one. This is an ultra rare Dual Terminal 12. I've personally collected a lot of these. This was a centerpiece for me when I was in Japan. I was picking these up left and right because this just looks amazing. Really cool artwork of Dark Magician Girl, and of course it's a DT. DT hollow fulls look great as an ultra rare. Looks like this is roughly around 15 bones, and then jumps up to about 18 and then 20. And then we can see it trickling on to almost 30 after that. But, you know, again, this is eBay speculative. You guys have to kind of go on personally and see which ones you like. Really, really great stuff. Again, if you guys have been watching my channel, you guys know I'm really big into dual terminal. Dual terminal stuff is really great. You got the Black Magic Star, of course, the bust on the chest here being the censorship in that card. And the last card is going to be Gemini Elf. So it's not every day that we see vanilla cards in Ultimate Rare. Now I know this is an extremely ancient card. And of course, you know, we got it as a secret rare originally in the TCG, which is, you know, if you can get a first edition secret rare from Labyrinth of Nightmare, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely worth money. There's definitely a player base that wants that. Me personally, I would much rather have the OCG versions, because they're uncensored. Obviously, they got the chest bust here, but they're just cool. There's more aesthetically pleasing rarities in the OCG. This, of course, being the highest as an ultimate rare, and there's also ultra parallel ultra, prismatic ultra, I guess. Anyway, ultra is with like the prismatic parallel looking flowing, which actually looks really great too. The same set as this BC34 came parallel ultra and then ultimate rare. So really great stuff. Looks like it's about 56 bones, 57, then jumps to 80, then 93, then 95, and then a whopping almost 100, almost 150, 140, 150, and you know, all this craziness. Obviously, this card's insanely old. It's got the old school text box here, and it's ultimate rare. Just gonna go ahead and click on this so we can get a closer view of this. Really great stuff. Obviously, from an ancient set, and you know, being that it's ultimate rare, being that it's uncensored, as you guys can clearly see here, and has the old school text box, this definitely puts it in a really good position for just being a target market card for collectors. Alright, moving on. So, Battery Man. I know the Battery Man Solar saw some good play back when Colossus was back, or before it went away, and we got Soul Fusion, and everyone was rocking around with Thunder Dragons. Really love Thunder Dragons, really cool deck. I'm really hoping that Colossus comes back at least to lift it to 1 eventually, and I think it definitely will. But this is a really cool set. Every once in a while, I like to kind of just do a quick flash showcase of old school dark deck archetypes, and this is one of those decks I thought was pretty cool, and I just wanted to kind of shine a little light on it. Next is going to be Trickstars. So Trickstars, for the longest time, this deck used to annoy the crap out of me so much. I used to hate this deck because I would lose to it all the time. There was, back in the day, I don't know if there's pure still, like, this is such a splashable deck. So many people use the bits and pieces. It's kind of like Legos. This archetype reminds me of like Legos because people just like pick like Candina or like the Feel Magic card, whatever it is, or the Corabanes, and they just kind of pick and play, and they just kind of play in their own deck and use some of the engine, which is pretty cool. Love this card. Reincarnation is an awesome card. I think this is a great utility card. This is a huge disruption for your opponent if you play it right, and it's got amazing artwork. Of course, there's ultimate rare Lycoris over here, which is looking pretty great. And something about this, it reminds me of Candy Store. I don't know something about Trickstars. It reminds me of like something in like a candy store or something. But anyway, really cool stuff. There was one thing I was going to say about this really quick. Oh, back in the day, I always thought it was really cool that they used this old school super from Chronic Guardian, Labyrinth of Nightmare, I believe it's called. I thought that was a pretty cool tech choice that they used to use to burn you to death. Alright, so next is going to be Lightning Storm. So Lightning Storm still to this date has not seen a reprint. Ignition Assault, wasn't so too terribly long ago, but this card's still really, really good, and maybe I'm just kind of out of the loop. I haven't really heard much of other people reviewing this card. Maybe just people just kind of got sick of it because we got Harpy's Feather Duster now, and a lot of utility removal, but this is still a really good card, and it's also a card that carries a really heavy, fat price point, being that it hasn't been reprinted still. And it's roughly around 80 bones for unlimiteds, and of course there's the normal secret versions. And then for the first editions, it jumps up to at 80 bones. 80 bones for the first editions, pretty much all across the board. So if you guys are curious, I mean, I don't really have much interest, but if you guys are into it, player preference, here's a Starlight Rare. This is a whopping 500 bone plus price tag. I don't think Starlight Rares, can you get a Starlight Rare that's unlimited? I think Starlight Rares are only placed into first edition boxes. I don't think I've again, I don't collect Starlight Rares. I don't think they look good, but to each their own. Some people do. Totally understand the ratios and why this is hot for collectors, but they're just so ungodly and expensive. But that's just kind of how it is. 530 is the starting market price here for the Starlight Rares, so pretty awesome stuff with that. I have Facebook. The link is going to be below. I would love to hear from each and every one of you guys. You guys have been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by The White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.